Welcome. You've splash landed into this Prosecco-laden podcast, straight into the woo-woo pool with the crew of Ohm-g. We're just a simple group of tragically imperfect and highly empathic BFFs, exploring a wide range of atypical topics with humor, grace, and curiosity. This is Ohm-g. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our special episode. Tonight's topic, how many witches does it take to plug in a microphone? Not really. It would be a very sad story. So instead, we're going to talk about Easter, or as the old folk called it,
Eostre.
Eostre. Anyway, we are glad you are here with us.
Das ist good.
Das ist good. Welcome to
Ohm-g, the podcast.
Fantastic. We're so glad that you could join us. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about Easter, traditions, things that bug us, and things that just are. Then maybe we'll do some musing on the weird vibe that's been going on lately in our universe. Anyway, let's start with the basics of
Easter
Alexandra.
So, fun fact, a Germanic pronunciation of Eostre is either Eostre or Eostre.
Eostre.
But the Saxon version or the Anglo version is Eostre or Eostre. So depending on how you read it and what your background is. But Eostre is a Germanic pagan goddess of the dawn and the spring. Her name was what given to a festival of Easter in some languages. So that's the correlation between Eostre, the German goddess, and Easter as we know it today.
Isn't it just about fertility and bunnies and eggs and all of this happy spring loving stuff? I mean, really?
Kind of, yes, because the first connection between Eostre or Easter and the bunny and hare happened between the goddess Eostre and the hare in Deutsch mythology by Adolf Holtzmann. The hare was thought to be her sacred animal because of the connection and the understanding of the hare with fertility and just.
Well, if you've ever had pet bunnies, I mean, we know how they go.
You just keep breeding.
Exactly.
So Adolf Holtzmann speculated that a hare must have once been a bird to lay eggs, because we all know Easter, we see lots of bunnies and lots of chicks, but how do they correlate? So he thought that a bird must have once, asked this goddess to change her into a hare for some reason, and that it was later turned into modern legend that the goddess, she transformed a bird into an egg-laying hare, and to show its gratitude, this hare exercised its original bird function of laying eggs for the goddess on her festival day. And her festival day was often in around what we would call April now, and in some languages, her name gave name to the month that the festival was in. So that's why it kind of can change, I think, throughout the semester.
And a total revision on which came first, the chicken or the egg situation.
I know, there's like that meme where do you see a rabbit or do you see a duck? And that's just like flooding into my head right now.
This is where the Cadbury egg came from.
So, yeah.
Bok bok.
Oh, that makes sense.
Happy Easter, bok bok.
Look at that. Alexandra is teaching us all things.
I know. And where did Peeps come from? Because that person ought to be shot. You talk about disgusting.
So often this her festival day was around the spring equinox, also known as the vernal equinox, due to the association of coming with spring. She was the goddess of spring and the dawn. And equinoxes are where the day and night are of equal duration. Easter brings renewal and rebirth from death of winter. So that's a nice, comparison. And as we start to leave the longer nights behind, the longer days come back.
Hallelujah.
I love that.
Some heathens associate Eostre with, I'm totally going to mispronounce this wrong for people, I apologize, Indun, who was the keeper of apples of youth in Scandinavian myth. The goddess East. Yep.
Also, you said the word heathens. We just talked about that on our last podcast.
I highly resemble that remark.
Yeah.
So heathens are just people who don't believe the way that you believe.
Often from a monotheistic position.
Right.
Yeah.
So we all just a bunch of heathens. The whole world
Tree
actually
hugging
is a bunch of
heathens.
heathens.
Yes.
Tree hugging heathen.
There's
Mhm.
also a lot of references to the quickening of a child and that kind of fertility, that growth into
Yeah, it all
something new
kinda
to be
Goes back
reaped
there.
in summer.
Yeah.
So I had read something that way to utilize this energy of Eostre is to open windows in your house, bring in light and fresh air to revitalize.
Spring cleaning.
Yeah.
And use the fertile energy of spring to bring about new projects or things you want to bring into. It's a good time to start.
I like that.
I have a question for everybody on that note. What would you like to manifest in your life this spring? Aaron.
Well, now that I'm put on the spot. So actually,
A new car.
A new car. Yeah. Well,
Y'all stop. He's bashful and shit.
Exactly. Let me clutch my pearls. I'm just kidding. Brenda's actually wearing pearls tonight.
And your girl's name is Pearl.
And my car's R.I.P.
What do you
Okay,
manifest?
speaking of death and rebirth, my car's name is Pearl, and with a name like that, she's going to live up to her old lady status. And so the mechanic that I took her to, because her check engine light has been on for quite some time, he spoke the big T word, and that is transmission.
Not transformation.
Not transformation or anything with any sort of positive connotation. So she is going to the big scrap haven in the sky. And one thing that I'm manifesting is definitely a new car. I am looking at 2 different Fiats or Fiats if you're nasty. I know that it stands for Fix It Again, Tony.
I'm saying.
I
loved mine.
Yes.
You had a sweet ass Fiat though.
And it was a good car.
The Fiat 500 looks like a nice size vehicle to a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see if everyone gets in some good juju my way. I'll be in the process of probably purchasing a new car this week. And then secondly, a goal sort of that I've been working on related to finances, which this is going to really fuck with that. But is I am really bad about impulse buying things, especially online. So,
Sagittarius.
I cannot blame you for that because I did that this morning.
Okay, that makes me feel better. However, mine's like, we won't get into it. It's pretty significant in the way that, like, when we come home from work, my husband's like, "Oh, look, another package," and he's like, it's pretty valid, his concern. So, anyways, lately I have been trying to bring awareness to that habit, and so when I get that compulsion to add something to my cart online, to click on a link that I've been emailed because something is on sale, to whatever, is to bring awareness to it and think to myself, in what way would this improve my life if I had it? And then to mentally meditate and sit with my eyes closed and picture myself with the item and see how that feels.
So I have a question. Where does that come from? The
impulse to want to buy things?
Impulse to buy things, because I think I know where it comes from.
Do you? Which in my guts doesn't really tell me anything.
Security.
Like I think it's
childhood.
Yeah.
Your mama was like that.
Well, my husband and I have talked about this. So my mother, who, if you're listening, hey girl, hey Terry.
Yeah, Terry.
Yes, but she
family patterns.
Yes, very much so. So I think I definitely get that from my mom because she maybe still now, but definitely when I was growing up, loved to shop, especially online shopping, and would sort of I have this weird thing where if I'm out somewhere and reframe it to where even if it's something I want, I'm like, oh, well, Christian would enjoy this. And so I'll get her, the dogs would like this blanket, And so you sort of justify purchases that you may or may not.
I'm bad at Christmas on that stuff.
Yes. So yeah,
I've been doing some interesting research and actually practice of clutter clearing. Yeah. Huge shout out to Hay House author Denise Lynn for introducing me to that idea. She goes through some meditations of if you sit with an item and you ask it, do you love it? Do you use it? Do you keep it?
Does it spark joy?
Does it spark joy?
Author.
Maria. She had a really interesting thing because I'm in the process of trying to lose weight, and she was talking about a client she had who was overweight and had all these clothes for when he would get smaller. And she's like, it's actually a negative affirmation to keep that in your closet.
Yeah.
So she's like, but if you really love it and you do want to use it, she's like, pack it up, put it in a box, put it in the attic. If you don't come back to it in a year, she's like, it's probably time to say goodbye.
Wow.
So I've done my bathroom. I've clutter cleared my bathroom.
Nice.
And she'd like do it with the intention of that you were letting stuff go and sit with it. And I think there's this also idea it has to do one of the reasons people collect stuff is its security. Like it's mine. She's like, but that's kind of reinforcing, scarcity mindset. And in the future, you won't be able to afford things. So I think this is a really interesting conversation, particularly around this time of birthing a new, thing, which is also interesting because it's just like, here, let me get rid of the old, say goodbye, let it go with, thanks and gratitude to bring in the new.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting conversation. It's about, the death or something to bring about a renewal of another. I've been seeing a lot of storks and hearing a lot of storks, which I know that's a huge symbol of like,
and we had a stork. We had a stork in our spirit circle this week.
That's right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
On 2/22/22.
Yeah.
We all got together and had a spirit circle that Brenda hosted for us. And stork, a lot of birds and like water
animals.
Because we're in Pisces right now. We just went into Pisces.
Yeah.
A lot of aquatic.
And I feel like this conversation is going sideways.
Yes,
but I mean, this is really good stuff. So as soon as I said this conversation is going sideways, I looked at the time and we've been recording for 11 minutes and 11 seconds.
Guys, how awesome is that?
Right.
I mean, like,
Exactly.
just
Sideways, great movie, great song. You were saying.
Yeah.
Today's specials are brought to you by Fancy Feast. From impeccable pâtés to silky broths to chef-inspired creations, a memorable mealtime experience is always on the menu for your cat. Learn more at fancyfeast.com.
Together we're as happy as can be.
Hi, this is Chandra. Brenda and I would like to invite you as part of our podcast community to join us on either Facebook or Instagram Live each Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern U.S. time, where we give free oracle readings for fans of the show. Just follow us on our Ohm-g podcast Facebook or Instagram page. You can post or DM us your questions there each week with the hashtag woo-woo-wisdom, and then tune in at 11 a.m. each Friday on our page to watch your free reading. If you can't join us live, don't worry. You can always catch it on the replay. This is just our way of saying thank you for being part of our woo-woo family. Hope to see you this Friday.
to bring it back, I guess, to Eostre, does anyone have any traditions that they had growing up, or just, I mean, it doesn't even have to be tied to the Christian faith, but
I can start.
yeah.
Do it.
I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, y'all.
Say that again for the people who aren't in the South. What's that again?
Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay, go on ahead.
And we had no traditions because my parents didn't celebrate Easter.
Oh.
So whenever because I like to say, when I lived in Sweden.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, pop off, girl.
Yeah. So when I lived there, they do have a tradition around Easter, and they have like a parade, like we have like at the 4th of July, and the kids dress up as witches and the boys dress up as wizards.
Fun.
And there's like a little
love it.
parade through their little town center.
I love it.
And the parents walk with them. And it's something about keeping out the bad energy or something with the little witches and wizards, but I didn't really understand it when I lived there because I was like, this is like Halloween.
Yeah.
So that's my tradition.
nice.
No tradition and the Swedish tradition.
If you could make a tradition, what would you do?
Well, when the kids were small, I used to hide Easter eggs for them, like for 2 or 3 years when they were really little. And if I could have a tradition, I'd probably plant something in the ground to grow.
It's a good
That's a
one.
good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some bulbs downstairs right now that need to go out, some dahlia bulbs. So I
guess
would
there's the
plant
start of
that.
your
Yeah, maybe that's
tradition.
will be my new tradition is planting something every year.
Getting your fingers in the dirt and bringing new life forward.
I love having my hands in the dirt.
How about you, Rose?
I grew up Catholic, so it was very traditional. You had to go. The Easter season started on Ash Wednesday. We went to church. We got our ash cross
Yep.
on our forehead, and then we gave up something, sacrificed something for 40 days of Lent until Easter Sunday. So it's the traditional Christian Catholic traditions.
Pescatarian on Fridays.
Yep. You could eat fish on Fridays, and if you were strong enough, you could fast. Not me, but
Well, just take a sip to that.
and then with the kids, the traditions were hiding the Easter eggs. And when they were really little, I had to hide them several times throughout the day because they wanted to hunt for the eggs again. So it was.
I'd be hiding them like miles away at neighbors' houses. I don't know. This is why I have dogs. So.
Donna, they'll be here in 3 hours. Just hold this damn egg.
And then what's the other tradition? The family would get together for Easter. You know, it was a big meal, the traditional ham and all the fixings.
Oh, yeah.
And that was Easter.
What about you, Alexandra?
Church.
Oh, of course, it involves church, Good Friday, Mass, and Easter Sunday Mass.
An extra heaping of guilt at Easter time, I would say.
So,
Yes.
Do Catholics do Palm Sunday?
Yes, Palm
okay.
Sunday. I forgot. Forgive me, I forgot Palm Sunday. Yes.
Different than the Orthodox Easter, which usually happens about a week after.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I've ever told anyone, at least in the podcast, to all our listeners out there. My father is Southern Baptist, or was raised that way. My mother was raised Roman Catholic, but the way she talks about her faith is very, not so much Catholic guilt. It's a very peaceful place. And I actually find going into Catholic cathedrals to be one of the most peaceful places.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
So
I mean,
And I love going in to look at the art, but also just sitting in a sacred space, even if it's not my own faith.
For sure.
And so neither wanted me to be the other one. So I was baptized as Lutheran. Then we went to,
Catholic light.
that's what my mom calls it.
Yeah.
So I went to Sunday school, for children. And I remember asking the question, well, if there's God the Father, what about Mother Earth or like the mother? And they're like, well, no, we don't know. That's not this. And I was like, okay,
You
well,
are
this
a
doesn't
vessel.
make-
Be quiet.
That's that dirty feminism.
So I started going into the actual services with my parents. And after a while that fizzled out until I went to a Catholic college. And a friend whose family, she was Catholic and her family was Catholic, brought me home for Thanksgiving and Easter. And it was the first time I'd ever seen prostration on the floor of a Catholic cathedral. Like the priests were like face down. And I'm like, the
I have
hell
never
is
seen
happening?
that in my
What,
life.
getting
All
their
my years
prostration check?
No,
What?
not prostration. I totally probably used the wrong word. I think it's
That's what it is.
prostrating.
They're laying down
Yes.
on the floor.
To be subservient
I
to.
was like, wow,
I
this
have
is
never seen that in the Catholic Church. Only I think when the priest was being ordained.
really.
Prostration sounds like something you would go into emergency surgery.
I know.
Yeah.
Like
I was
turning
like-
cock.
Yeah,
or-
right. Like,
But
it's
that's the only
enlarged,
time I
you know,
think
you
I've ever seen that when a priest was being ordained. So,
I
that's
don't
it.
know.
Very interesting, though. Yeah.
What state was that in?
Pennsylvania. And
Oh,
so we went home, and her family's Italian and had a huge meal. But when I was growing up, my parents, when I was younger, they were plastic eggs, would hide them around the house.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
of course, my mom put together an Easter basket. And every year from when I was really little that I remembered, I would get like a chocolate bunny
Yes.
and a bathing suit. And it was my mom. I guess
That
it
is
was
a mixed, whacked up message right there.
my mom was like, okay, I guess it's getting ready for summer and you're growing, you need a new
Aw.
bathing suit. And as I got older, it was less about the finding of eggs, and we would actually sit down and take time as a family to like decorate the eggs. And that was more of, I think I enjoyed that part because it's like finding the eggs and like Christmas time, like opening the presents. I get really, it's so awful to say this, I kind of get depressed as soon as the last present's open because it's like, there's no more suspense. There's no more like, what was this?
The way
Right,
that it hits
right.
you.
Yeah. And then we had a meal. Usually it was lamb. We had some sort of lamb thing. And one of my last memories from Christmas, Easter's before COVID was with my Uncle Tommy before he passed away, and him and his girlfriend coming over and decorating eggs. So we still do that.
So on the mixed message thing, I just have something to interject here. My aunt, who has become very religious in her years of later life, she used to be an alcoholic and a pothead, and she has recovered from that. And religion is her new addiction. She sent me one year for my birthday some religious tracts and a pair of thong underwear.
What?
Sure.
Thong
You
underwear.
know?
Wait, what do you mean religious tracts? Like a burnt CD of religious music?
Well, like, little pamphlets.
Oh, the literature.
The literature.
Okay. I'm like, she made you a mixtape of the Gospels with some pantyhose. She's trying good and well.
Thongs.
Thongs. I'm sorry, different. Sorry. Y'all know good and well don't wear either.
She needs to go back to booze and pot, in my opinion.
Amen. Mine too, Camille.
Those are
My
more
experienced
consistent.
opinion.
Wow. That
It
is
was
wild.
just bizarre.
Right.
And then I think another year was religious tracts and lipstick.
Interesting.
It's just so weird.
Okay. So before we move on to Camille's and my traditions of what we grew up with Easter, Ro and Alexandra, do you guys have any sort of new traditions that if you could start a new tradition that you might want to do or could think of during this time when we're talking about manifestation?
Well, my kids are in college, so we
Yeah.
don't do the whole egg thing anymore. It's just in our house. It's just another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just.
But you could celebrate the spring, the coming.
Well,
spring.
celebrating the spring, we definitely spend a lot of time in the yard.
She's like handing Randy a shovel. That's how she celebrates this. Right?
No, actually, my husband Randy mentioned that this week. We were talking on the phone. He says, "Oh, it's time to start getting the yard ready. We got to start, weeding and get ready to fertilize and seed the lawn and get,
It's
start
exciting.
thinking about planting our garden, what we're going to plant this year." So yeah, that's one of our.
Which
New
is
hope,
great
new
use
promise.
of that energy, that fertile energy is out there.
Oh yeah,
Mhm,
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah. So that's pretty much our now tradition.
I,
Is
Awesome.
planting the garden.
I would say probably, I think we've always done spring cleaning too.
Mhm.
Like
Yes.
that clearing out of the old to welcome in the new. And I love that idea of opening up all the windows in the house and letting the sunlight
Yes,
in
the
and
fresh
just
air.
doing
It's a
that.
cleansing.
It is.
That's all it is. It's a big cleansing.
It lets out the stale and
And I've been getting amped up about spring. I'm a Virgo and I'm like, I need to scrub those baseboards. I need to move the TV. I need to move all the plants. I need to do this. I need to just shine and scrub and throw out stuff and take things to Goodwill and all that good stuff.
I feel
The
like
other-
you moved into a new place without moving.
Yes. It's
100%.
an urge.
the other thing, because my family, we just like doing things together. So I think we will always have dinner, whether it's about Christian Easter or not. And it's a nice time to get together. But I was reading about more natural dyes for dyeing eggs and using beetroot powder to dye things red, turmeric to dye it yellow.
Oh, cool.
So that might be something I look into to try this year just for shits and giggles.
Yeah,
why
bringing your
not?
herbalism
But
tradition.
honestly, it's now it's sometimes we'll use edible safe dye and dye a peeled hard-boiled egg and hide them on the porch for my dog.
Oh,
I like that tradition.
And you have to deal with dog farts later. So
Yep.
It can't get any worse than they already are. Sometimes they already smell like sulfur, so what's a little more egg?
Shout out to Piper's digestive tract.
Saying.
Honestly, GSPs, if you have one or thinking about getting, they have one of the most sensitive digestive tracts
No.
ever. They eat something, it comes out one eye.
Beautiful
Well,
dogs.
Beautiful, gorgeous dogs.
That's why they make dogs cute and wonderful, so you love them while they fart bomb you
Exactly.
and spread fibers of love into your prosecco. But anyway, when I was a child in the South, there was always ham on Easter, and there's 2 syllables in ham where I come from. Ham.
Ham.
You put on your white stockings and your white Mary Janes and your Easter dress that was just for church, and you got a big old stuffed bunny. And the older I got, my Easter basket would get smaller and the chocolate bunnies would get hollow and smaller.
Amen.
And
So rude.
frankly insulting, but whatever. We're all good. Malted little Easter eggs and Peeps are just Satan himself, but that's my opinion. And you'd go get a good scolding at church and then go to Aunt Doris's house for ham and banana salad and deviled eggs.
Banana salad.
What in
Banana pudding.
What
No.
in Texas
Banana.
ham?
Banana salad.
Oh, do
In
tell.
Tennessee. It is so messed up, y'all. It is so messed up.
As if the title didn't give you
But
that feeling.
Granny Beaver used to make it. You be quiet. Alma Beaver was a wonderful woman.
R.I.P. Alma Beaver.
But you take the bananas and you slice them lengthwise and you put peanut butter on them and you put sugar on it. And then you make a vinegar drizzle that stinks like nasty feet while it cooks. And then you drizzle it over there, and it's like sweet and salty in a weird bite. And it's called banana salad. And it is 20 kinds of fucked up, but it is so good. You will love it. And the look on all your faces, I wish we were recording.
I just think it needs a different word than salad.
I agree. We can call it beaver salad. I don't know.
I think salad just needs to be removed. That's the part that I'm going.
Alexandra.
Salad is the word I take.
You're from New Jersey. In the South,
I'm from California.
We can call anything a salad that has a bit of fruit in it.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
And Granny Beaver did. Bless her soul. Banana salad. And a vinegar. Oh,
I'm going to make it for you, bastard.
do not make it for us.
Aaron's like, blanket? No.
It is so good.
I would be
I'll try
willing
it.
to try a piece.
It is so
of said banana salad. Okay, well, I hope you guys at home are laughing as hard as we are, just picturing poor little sweet Camille in her Easter dress with her Mary Janes and ham.
Wait, with her beaver salad?
Exactly. I know. I love how Alexander's like, no, salad is the issue. That's the word I take issue with. This is too funny. So for my traditions, they did involve ham and Nana Walker, not beaver, but no banana salad. We had Watergate salad, and it wasn't filled with tape. Okay. It was a weird.
Was it filled with lies?
It was lies and non-truth. It was Watergate salad, for those of you who have never had it or are not in the South. My stepmom calls kind of her similar version, which I would argue is a little bit better tasting. She calls it green goo, and we have it every Christmas.
It's like ambrosia. It's not a salad, but...
Ambrosia salad, exactly. Yes, why the hell do we put salads on random shit?
Because it's South and we're fat and it makes us feel better.
That is so true. I'm just going to throw ranch on my chicken wings and be like, chicken salad, you know? So anyways, I grew up United Methodist, UMC, and we'll talk about that trauma a different day. But we had, Palm Sunday, we had Ash Wednesday. I don't think I went to Ash Wednesday. I don't remember being that ashy. And then we went to Easter Sunday service. And me and my two younger brothers, my mom and dad, all would go to church and yada, yada, yada. And then we would go to my Nana Walker's house. We'd have ham and ambrosia / Watergate salad. And I loved beets, pickled beets. And so she would make pickled beets. Rose, she's pointing to her mouth saying, yes, yes, yes. She loves pickled beets as well. And, we would just be there with aunts and uncles and whatever. But in the mornings, what I remember, we would hide eggs and stuff at my Nana's, I think. And I always had this sort of weird, okay, so Jesus had died and he rose. Okay, so what do bunnies and chickadees and eggs have to do with Jesus rising again? And why do I have chocolate? Why do I have to dress up? And of course,
never question the chocolate, but go ahead.
Catholics, were trying to convert a lot of heathens, and they adopted a lot of their traditions in order to make it palatable and bring people into their faith.
Right. True.
So
so it makes sense now, but at the time I'm like, what in tarnation? I'm sitting there listening to.
It is quite weird.
People sweat and handle snakes.
Okay,
even at church we had Easter egg hunts.
Yeah, we did do it
after mass.
Remember the pez and the vinegar smell and the little dipper thing?
We would also dye eggs. Usually we'd have our cousins over to Nana Walker's with ham and whatnot, and we would dye eggs. But what I remember the most about Easter's is we would. Me and my two brothers would get Easter baskets that we thought the Easter bunny came in the middle of the night.
That's because your mama liked to shop.
Girl, Terry, shout out, girl. You gave a nice childhood with gifts. Okay.
You grew up with a basket, boy.
I did. I grew up with a basket.
I had no basket.
With the grass, the fake grass. And I still to this day love the flowers and the pastel colors. And
I love the grass.
The grass. Hey, talking about Mary Jane's, you know what I'm saying? And the candy and whatnot. But so we would have usually one sort of non-food item gift. So sometimes it would be a book or a Lego set or whatever. Coloring books. Yeah. One time I got not a bathing suit, believe it or not.
That's a special tradition though.
Right, that is. But one time I remember getting this recorder radio where I would put little cassette tapes in and record the radio music so I could hear later. And I used to think I could be a singer. That's hilarious. And I would record my own little albums on the not VHS tapes, but the little cassette tapes. And there's this one specific video. One year, my Nana Walker, she took, I don't even know how the hell she did it, but shout out, girl. She took all the VHS tapes.
In spirit.
In spirit, yes, RIP as well. So she took all the videotapes throughout the years and transferred them onto DVDs and gave all the grandkids that year for Christmas a box of the DVD.
She was ahead of her
videos.
time.
She really was. She was, she was
And she didn't make banana salad.
no banana salad. That ambrosia was there, not banana. And so she gave us those tapes. And so Christian and I think it's got to be somewhere at our house right now. But I mean, just anybody that watches videos of themselves when they're a kid are cringeworthy, but particularly toothless, young, unaware gays in the South are a certain type of just chills down your spine. Why the hell do you exist? Type of cringe, right? So there's this video of my dad recording at Easter morning, and we're all like around our Easter baskets at the table. And he or my mom, one, is in there with us, and they say, what did you get? And I whip around in this video, and I have, like the alfalfa hair sticking up top.
Do you have jazz hands?
I have, what did I get? Let me tell you. So I have my alfalfa hair, spiked hair, just craziness, probably like 7, 8 years old. I have on like a really long t-shirt, what we call in the South a muumuu, right? Or an Eton dress. And I have one tooth that is missing. So I have one big permanent tooth and one little tooth that had just come out. And he goes, what did you get? And I turn around real quick and say, a butterfinger. In the F-A-N-G-E-R. Those of you who are aware of what a butterfinger, F-I-N-G-E-R is, knows that it's a candy bar. And so Christian screamed when we watched together for the first time. This was probably 3 or 4 years into marriage. We've been married 6 now.
He's going to play that at your 50th fucking birthday.
Absolutely.
Party.
If y'all lower me into the ground, make sure that you say, and he always had a butterfinger. It's...
You're going to throw them on your grave.
Yes. Crumple them up and just toss them on. So that's one of the memories that I really have is me turning around to the camera with one tooth in a muumuu with my hair sticking up bright and saying, I got a butterfinger, as if I just won the damn lottery.
Y'all, the egg never falls that far from the bunny in closing.
Wait,
That is
so
true.
hold on, before we get there, Brent or Camille had asked, what did we want to birth this
Yeah.
Easter? So
Oh,
where did we
God.
end up?
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
that.
We haven't finished that.
I guess sanity at this point.
No banana
Coherence.
salad.
Sobriety. I don't know.
No.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I
That's
didn't mean to offend.
too close to Lent. No, we're giving up things like that. We're at January for some reason.
We are
This-
in Lent.
This is Brenda. Financial independence for me.
That kind of goes along with mine, I feel like.
Yep.
Ditto. Rosalie here. Financial
We've all got money problem and salad issues.
freedom.
Do I have to pick one? I'm between, I want to find my person, right? So I'm trying to birth that energy and, a thriving business and, just, I guess, confidence in myself to know that I will and I am achieving that,
Oh, you are, girl.
Yep.
Absolutely. Joy, love, and security here. Hallelujah.
Amen.
More laughter.
Yes.
I feel like
Yes.
it's been such a serious couple years.
Ask for a joy guide, girl. Do it.
Well, she's
been
here
trying-
with all of us. We're all a bunch of
Absolutely.
joy guides tonight.
I'm
She's
saying.
fertilizing all of us. She's up there just ringing her little thing with her garden because
I think the other thing for like this time of year, I mean, especially as things start to bloom and, all the beautiful smells and, start to happen, I'm trying to take moments in my day when everything's stressful or whatever and to appreciate something small and something beautiful.
Nice.
It's just like a gratitude practice without,
Yeah.
going, I'm doing this to be grateful. It's like
Right.
just a, hey, everything else is going crazy. This is something I'm focusing
Right.
on.
Also tune into nature. The
Yeah.
birds, and the squirrels in the
Oh,
backyard that they're getting.
There's
Like in Bambi, they're Twitter pated. Everybody, you hear the excitement that the birds are coming out, especially if we have a nice spring sunny day. My whole backyard is just lit up with the birds singing.
Yeah.
And
So
so
just pay
nice to
attention to
hear.
those little things.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. It's so like, wow. Ooh,
That happened
nice.
this past week or this past weekend, and I was just like, wow, it's so nice to hear them again.
Mhm.
It was just like, oh, beautiful small moment.
it's like to us, it's beautiful, like birds singing. We're like, oh, it's spring, and we feel like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, like
Exactly.
opening windows,
I
and they're
know.
all like, "Who's trying to have sex with me?" They're all like screaming from the treetops because they've been dry all winter. And on that note, hopefully you guys find your own traditions, if you don't have any yet, that you can celebrate for Easter or Eostre, or however you pronounce it. Sorry to whoever I may have
That's okay.
mispronounced or offended. You know that we're all here in good humor and have well intentions.
Celebrate yourself, celebrate joy, celebrate new life and new manifestations. That's what I say.
Definitely
Amen.
leave us a comment wherever you listen on our website and let us know your traditions and tell us what we should try. And if you want to try anything we've suggested,
We're bound to
let
be
us know
sober
how it
within 2
goes.
days. We'll bring
Yeah.
it.
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
sorry, and follow us on omgpodcast.com to subscribe to our newsletter.
Yes.
That's going to be a new thing. And
New
we're going to,
feature.
musings and thoughts and whatever. Rants.
Vents.
And what's going on with the
Bitches,
energy.
whatever.
Yeah. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for being here and joining us again. We hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Grab yourself some banana salad, some ham, or even a Butterfinger. And we'll see you guys next time on the Ohm-g podcast.
I need a bathing suit and some chocolate.
Night.
Guys.
Thank you for joining us today. Please follow and subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave a review. It's so easy to do and such a huge help for us. We appreciate your interactions so much. Want to join us at our table? Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and join our Facebook community. If you've enjoyed this content and wish to support us, take a look at our Patreon page. All information and links will be in our podcast description. Catch you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.